Welcome back to the Uninkable Dads podcast. I'm Grandad Glenn, joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend. The man, some say, got so fed up of taking candy from babies that he's upgraded to stealing champion playmats from sweeties. FPS madness. And if that reference went over your head like a flying carpet, then you need to check out last week's episode of the podcast. You'll also see a really, really innovative Ruby Amethyst list that you want to check out. So don't go anywhere just yet, though. Do that later, because I'm also joined today by Lorcana Man. So welcome.
Hey, everyone. Hey. Call me Howard, too, but Lorcana Man's fine. Yeah. But nice to meet you, and thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I've been following you guys for quite some time. I'm also a dad myself, so I'm also consider myself an uninkable dad. So yeah, great to be on.
Awesome. Well, nice to have you. And we will start as always with our week in the ink and FPS madness. So we'll go to you first, because I know that you've had quite a busy weekend.
Yeah, my week in the ink's been very simple this week. All week, no ink, basically. Unfortunately, I don't think I've played a single game in Lorcana since last Friday. I had a stag do this weekend in Turkey, and I spent the last 3 days recovering from that. So yeah, that's pretty much my week. My week is gone. I unfortunately didn't get to play a single game. I don't think I've even done an online test game this week. So in the way of Lorcana, unfortunately my week's been very plain. But back to locals this Friday, so I plan on changing that up and finishing locals on a high before Jafar, I think, is the plan for this Friday. So we'll see how it goes. So what about yourself?
Not the worst way to spend some time, though, out in the sun.
Definitely.
From the photos that I saw, so very nice. And actually at locals this week, so I managed to place second, but what I was most pleased about was my granddaughter Lily came third. So
nice.
That was really awesome. So
That's
she's
awesome.
she's playing a sort of aggro amber steel list, and she's really starting to get the hang of it and cook with it. So yeah, that was really pleasing. So she was very excited as well, because she's had some good days and bad days, but I don't think she's sort of placed for a few weeks. So she was pleased.
How old is your granddaughter?
She is 10.
Oh, okay, awesome, man. That's a really good age. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's good. She loves it. We're very lucky. We've got about 6 now, 5 or 6 kids that sort of play on a Friday night.
Oh, that's really awesome. Yeah, wow, that's really good. So, we at my local scene, there's no kids. My kid was like the only kid for the longest time, and there was a couple other, but not too many kids. A lot of middle-aged men in the in the scene. I'd like to see more, kids and some more, females come in there and play, just get a little bit of a mix. But right now it's no kids right now. But I did go to a set championship this weekend at a very competitive store called Collector's Lounge out in Cyprus, and it's one of my favorite stores. Great shop. And we have there's a lot of red blue there. And I brought in the Cherna dogs. I was like ready to play all the red blue, and I went there with a buddy of mine, and and a lot of my friends were over there. And there was actually one kid over there, really young girl, and she's really good. And she actually beat my buddy in the game in one of the rounds. So I was happy to see her there. And she stuck through the whole 6 rounds. Like, she's a trooper. So shout out to I don't want to say her name because she's a minor, but she's a kid, and she played over there, and she did good for playing in that kind of environment. It was really awesome. I actually ran into a bunch of Steel Song, the one that I wasn't looking forward to playing.
Yeah, the one deck you don't want to play.
Yeah, I thought the blue reds would take them out, and then I'd play a couple blue reds, and then I went like 3-3. Something like that. Didn't top on that one. I just went there really just to troll my friends who play blue red, and the top 8 tables, I think 7 of them were all blue red, and they're very good players. And so that was my weekend. And then yesterday I went to locals, and I actually I played Blurple Jafar, which is a very
Oh,
interesting
nice.
deck,
Okay.
and it's fun, you know. And like I got Jafar out once, and then I was like I quested for 9 in like one go because I was like singing friends and then popping a lamp and then doing a lot of shenanigans, and it's a pretty fun deck. I definitely had fun. I think Glenn, you're using traditional Blurple. Is that the Blurple that you're kind of working on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a lot of friends that were on traditional Blurple. So I kind of tricked some people. They thought I was on traditional Blurple. And then they're like, Jafar? They're like, what's that all about? So I had a lot of fun with that. And then I actually, coming soon, I'll kind of give you guys you guys heard it first, but we also shot like a little podcast of our own, like a couple friends of mine. So that'll be coming out later on. But that was kind of like my week in Lorcana. You know, and did you say you went to Turkey? Is that
Yeah.
what? How far is that? Like, see, like in the U.S., everything is like, you know, states, and it's like we can't go to another country. It's very far. So like, how far is that flight for you?
It wasn't too bad. I think on the way there it was 3.5 hours. So
Oh wow! And did you go to
yeah.
Istanbul?
No, we were Bodrum, I think it was. It was out on sort of the southwest, I think it
Okay.
was, somewhere around there.
Did you get
Yeah,
any
it was
good
good.
doner kebab? Did you get any of that?
Yeah. We
Yeah, nice.
we basically went to a 5-star all inclusive hotel for the weekend as a
Whoa,
stag
okay.
do, and
Hey,
it was
not
literally
too shabby.
you could pretty much get a kebab 24 hours a day. It was really good.
That's
Really good.
awesome, man. You didn't bring any cards. You didn't bring a deck with you.
No. Unfortunately, the guys I went with don't play. I try and convince them, but no, not yet.
Yeah. I always try to do the force my friends to play, and I'm like, they're just like they just don't get it. And I'm like, I'll give you the really expensive deck, the meta, and then I'll play the starter deck. And they're like, they'll still be like, nah, you know. So I get that. Yeah.
Nice.
So does your daughter still play? I know you said that
No,
obviously-
so my daughter's a little bit older. I have 2 daughters. One of them, she's a little bit older, and when she was younger, she played a lot. And you know, she's won, you know, some set champ cards and all that, and she's played in a very competitive space. And like the last set champs for Scar, she had like been in and out of Lorcana, and then she was like, I was like, just go with me, you know, like I want, you know, more chances to get the Scar card. And I told her, just come play with me. And she's like, well, I don't want to go to this like shopping with mom thing, so I'll go with you. And she's like, just can you teach me a deck real quick? And I was like, this is how you play Diggy Hole. And she like learned it in like 2 days, and then she got like top 4. So she, you know, like
Nice.
she's really good. Her name on Melee was Lorcana Kid, and like people know her in our local scene too. And like she was a very competitive player, but right now she's like a teenager, so she's like she'd rather be hanging out with her friends and doing teenage stuff than hanging out with dad playing a Disney card game, you know. So yeah, that's kind of like where it is now. But you know, like I'm glad your 10-year-old granddaughter is playing, and I hope when I'm a grandfather one day, many years from now, I could play set, you know, 50 with them, and then be like, are we still playing Infinity with set 1? No, you know. So
yeah, it's a special time, isn't it? Nice to be able to get them away from their phones, get them away from
no, exactly, get away
electronics,
from
and
like
have that
playing
time.
exactly. And it's like good. I felt like it's really good. It's interaction with people, right? Learning how to talk to adults, being confident. And it was weird because like that set champ, I wanted my daughter to win a card so bad because she's always gotten close when it was like top 4. I remember it was like really hard to get. So she would always top 8, but she never like top 4. And I really wanted her to win the card. And I remember when we were playing, I kept like I was more focused on her games than mine. And she went a lot further than I went, you know, like she was using my Diggy Hole deck, and I forgot what I was playing at the time, but I used like my secondary deck, you know, that I had. But yeah, I was really happy that she won, and I was hoping that it would be like, oh yeah, now that like I had that fire to kind of come back and play, and it didn't happen, but maybe the next one. Yeah. So, but she still loves playing sealed, and and draft and all that. She likes, limited formats. So she'll still come with me to go to like sealed games, and like, obviously I get more packs for myself, right? So she likes, yeah. So she likes that. So, and she does fairly well. We do fairly well, and it's a good team. So yeah.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And we've obviously got the pre-release. This is starting to come out now, which will be. Well, we don't know if we know the format as yet, do we? But there was some form of draft, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're saying some kind of draft. Yep. Yeah, so that would be fun too.
So what got you into Lorcana, Howard?
Lorcana? Oh, okay. That's a great question. So I've never actually played a TCG in my life. All my friends play TCGs. I never really was into it. I seen them play Magic. I always thought it was confusing. And sorry, my hair is like kind of blurred with the background. But so I'm really into, I'm a Disney fan. I like Disney stuff, and I like collecting like rare things. Like I used to collect sneakers. I used to collect different comic books. I used to collect basketball cards, baseball cards, all that stuff. And I remember my friend was saying, like, there's this really hot game that's going to come out called Lorcana, and the cards are super expensive. They're limited. They're hard to get. And I was like, oh, you're speaking my language, right? So my goal was I was just wanting to get one of each card. Like, that was it. Like, get one of each card, make a collection, and put it away. And I remember it was so hard to get packs, and I was just collecting one card each. And then I remember I saw some of my friends playing it one day. And they were like, hey, you want us to teach you? And I was like, sure. I have and I had so many cards. I mean, I had a lot of cards of set one than the average person because I came in as a collector. And then they taught me how to play. And I was like, oh, I have these like really good cards. I had like 2 Elsas, and I thought I was like hot stuff. You know what I mean? Like I thought I had 2 8-drop Elsas. And then they taught me how to play with starter decks. And I was like, you know what? I can play this game. And I was like, I used to play poker and stuff like that, blackjack. And so I was like, I could play this game. And my friend, he told me, hey, there's a Lorcana tournament at this card shop. And I never knew like what happens inside the card shop. That was very foreign to me. I was like, what are these people doing in there? And when we rolled up there, I remember he was like saying, like, we're like, is there anyone going to be playing? Because we're like, no one has product. And I thought I was hot stuff. I had like 2 Elsas, 1 Ursula. I had like these legendaries. I thought I was cool, I go in there, and then there's some people there, and we start playing. And I remember I was running Ruby M at the time, and in my opening hand I had like an Elsa and an Ursula in like my opening hand, and like I didn't know how to mulligan and stuff, and I kept it in my hand. I was like, oh, wait till I use this thing on you. You're so dead. And I lost my first game. I won my second game, and then my friend who drove me over there, his name's Andy, and he's quite a bit on my channel. He plays green red, and he had a green red starter deck, and that's why he loves playing it. But he was there with me too, and he played, and I got him into it. And then we just kind of just got into the game, and I started learning about like how to mulligan, like what to properly like strategy, right? Like I was just like big card, like turn one card. Yeah. Turn 2, 2 drop, and we just kind of fell in love with the game. And, one of my friends was talking to me about like, he was like, and the reason why I created this Lorcana Man channel or Instagram, it was basically because like, I didn't know how to use Discord. Like that was very foreign to me. It's still kind of like overwhelming me, as a dad, I guess, like I'm looking at it, there's like all these channels. I don't know what's going on. So I had Instagram, but I didn't want to give people my personal Instagram, like these card people. Yeah. So I created a fake Instagram, and that was just purely just to communicate with the community. Like, oh, where are you going to buy cards? Where are you going to play the game? Because like it was very hard to play games back then. So that's kind of how I got into Lorcana, and here I am now. So yeah,
nice,
yeah, awesome. And that's sort of really grown, right? You're Lorcana Man, so. If people haven't sort of checked you out, it's your Lorcana Man on Instagram. And yes, I know I came across you when I first got into Lorcana. I was looking for sort of content, and you've grown quite a big following, a community.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I mean, you even had a reveal, didn't you? Revealed.
Yeah, I did reveal a Tanana card, like a vanilla card for the last set. And thank you. I still don't think like I'm like huge, I guess, like I feel like I'm just like, I know a lot of people who have like way big accounts and they do this for a living. I'm very fortunate to have like people actually like the content that I put out. Like it just started off as like inside jokes of people who played Lorcana, right? Like a lot of my stuff is about the cards, and if you didn't know how to really play, you didn't kind of get the joke. So it was just like for my friends and connecting with people in the community. But I think now it's kind of grown to this thing where I'm just trying to promote the lifestyle of TCGs, and it's more about, it goes beyond the game, the card game. It's like more about the community. If you ask around like my locals, right, like I'm always there trying to throw events for them, try to do something cool with cool pricing, some kind of different format. I'm always there trying to get people to play, right? And I think it's more, when it comes down to it, it's just the connections with people. Like that's what I enjoy about it, the community and the connections. Like even like you guys are in Europe, right? Like why am I talking to you guys? It's because of this game, right? And it just so happens, Glenn happened to randomly see one of my posts on Instagram, thought it was funny, connected with me. You guys decided to have a podcast. I'm on it. I mean, right there, that's like, that just is like a global connection. And I'm pretty sure after this podcast, right, we're gonna be in touch somehow. I'm gonna ask Mike, yo, what is that deck that you're like, what are you gonna switch out for those queens, or and that's I think the beauty of it. I've met a lot of people, not just on the local level, but also globally, like you guys, and I've made a lot of friends and connections through this game. So that's what I think is the power of the game. It's not the game itself, it's beyond the game. And I think that's what I'm trying to do on my channel, and connect with more people like this. So thank you for having me on again. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I said to a friend of ours recently who's sort of dropped away from playing because he's had other responsibilities, and he was saying about, I could come on Friday, but I don't think I've got a very competitive deck and I haven't played for a while. And I said, forget about that. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, exactly.
We came to this for the game, but you stay for the community, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. Like I feel like I get it, right? Like I do, and that's what I like about that community, right? It's like, don't get me wrong, like where I live, it is a very competitive scene. We have one guy going to Worlds, right? Like we have some serious players. We had one guy qualify for LCQs, but they aren't ever super hyper competitive where it's like we will shun someone who's new. Like we're very welcoming. Like we go to our locals sometimes and we will play like random decks. Like I played Blurple Jafar just for fun, like, so I think that's the most important thing. And I think it will help people understand how to check their egos sometimes. I used to do jujitsu, and you get your ego checked right at the door when you do a martial art like that. And I feel like Lorcana, it is competitive in a sense, but you will and you can lose because it's a game of chance as well. And I think that's something like people have to learn. I think people have to learn how to lose as well. Like they have to be, win humbly and lose graciously, or whatever that saying goes. But like, and I do feel like you said, when your friend was like so worried about losing, it's like, no, just come on, just like, who cares if you lose? Like, you're not losing any, you're not getting punched, you're not getting kicked, you're not losing, you're not losing a ton of money. You might lose, a couple pounds here and there because you might get some crappy cards, but you might hit a good card. Like, you never know. So I always feel like that's like a part of the community right there. Yeah,
definitely.
That's awesome. I often worry about new people sort of coming in from that. Are they going to stay if they come in and sort of lose their first games? But actually, we've got some new people that have joined us in the last couple of months, and I spoke to one of them actually on Friday and said, "Oh, how are you getting on? How are you doing?" Because I noticed that she come to set champ, she lost all of her games. She's lost all the games Friday night. Oh yeah, great, love it, great, having a great time. So it's like, the doesn't matter, does it? It's obviously nice to win a few, and if
Yeah.
you stick around and you talk to people and take some advice, you will get better and you will win games. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just win or lose.
Yes.
So it's about the people and the community, and
Yeah.
just as you say, having this joint connection.
Yeah, and I like that way that like the league is working now with the whole like raffling of the pricing at the end. I do feel like some people were. I remember those a couple people that were like, "Man, I never get the pin," because like they never got enough points. And I remember the league thing too. I would tell people like, "Hey, it's not all about winning all the time too. Like, don't get me wrong, winning helps, but I was like, it's about consistency. Just keep coming to the shop." And I remember there was a couple folks that like they were very new to the game and they weren't very good, and they just kept coming and they got better and better, and then they started winning too. So I think it's like as long as the community of the stores, like, don't get me wrong, there are toxic people and there are toxic shops, toxic gamers out there, but as long as the core people in your shops are very welcoming, I think people will always get better. Like, there's so many players at our locals that are new, that are playing with people who are going to worlds, who are dominating set champs, and they still keep coming because they know that that person who is going to worlds, like my buddy Sean, he's going to help you. He's not going to be like just smash on you and just be like, see ya, you got 2-0. No, he's going to be like, hey, have you thought about thinking of it like this? Like, here's this. And sometimes like I'll even let people who are new, like, they go, man, that Ruby Am deck really smashed me, right? And I'll be like, here you go, you use this, I'll use your deck for today. And I think that's very important, is to let them, new players, I think, is like the key is to just to welcome into the game and let them know like they're part of the group already. Like, day one, you're part of the group. It's not like you're the new guy. You're like you're in with us, because it's such a unique crowd too. So I think that's, and I believe that's what you guys do out in your locals too. And I think that's a really great thing.
Yeah, I think our locals now has got to a point where I think I'd say 50% of the player base are now 6 to 8 months like new into the game, and the other 50% are probably set 1, set 2 players, so like right from the start. So we've got a nice balance where you end up with someone who knows how to play the game very well playing against someone who doesn't in round 1 of melee, because that's just how round 1 works. But it's never seen as, oh, I just got to win here. You take your time. We talk them through it. There's been multiple times where me and Glenn have played. We're like, we'll play this game open-handed then. Let's use this as a learning tool here, and help you out here and get your knowledge of the game even better. So that way, next time you don't have to feel like you can play it like that. You can just straight up, play the game and see how it goes, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, but it's without new players constantly coming into the game will die out. So
yeah, of course, of course.
It doesn't matter whether, like you say, if you're the top end well player, if you have to treat everyone as someone who's potentially going to be there one day, because you just never know. So
yeah, exactly.
But no, it's one of those things we try and do at our locals, and I think it's working really well. Like I say, to have 50% of us, I'd say, are newer players. It obviously seems to be working quite well. So
that's great, dude. That's awesome. That's good to hear.
And I know our listeners will be listening in, waiting with bated breath for the answer to this one. So, if you were a soup,
yes,
Howard, what soup would you be?
Oh man, oh geez. Okay, well, I was thinking not just because I'm Asian, but have you guys heard of hot and sour soup? Hot and sour, is that a thing?
Heard of it.
There? Yeah, hot and sour soup. I think it's one of my favorite soups, but it's kind of like, it's spicy, it's sour. It's kind of interesting.
Nice.
So it's an interesting thing, but it's my kids really like it. I think it's like one of those soups. I guess it's like it's got some meat in there. It's got mushrooms, got egg, tofu. But I think like I would be that soup because it's kind of like, it's spicy but also sour and fun. Like it's a little bit of both. Like I could be extreme in one way or another, and I guess that would be the soup. The other one I was thinking about was broccoli cheese, just because I like that soup too. But I'd say hot and sour probably. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome. I like it. Could be the decks that you're playing as well.
Yeah,
spicy and sour.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, we are now just over a week away until Rhino Jafar drops. So Glenn has handpicked us some Rhino Jafar cards. So have a quick look at. So We're not going to spend too long on them. We're just going to have a quick get your quick thoughts on it, and a quick yes or no on whether you think it's going to be playable, or whether it's one of those ones of it can go in the trove in the corner and never see play again. So let's have a look. Do you want to take us through the first couple, Glenn?
Yeah, so we've got Goofy here, Groundbreaking Chef. He's a 4-cost inkable card, 3/4, quest for 2, with the ability Plenty to Go Around. At the end of your turn, you may remove up to 1 damage from each of your other characters. Ready each character you remove damage from this way. It's legendary. I think the artwork is awesome. Very, very goofy. Trying to do 15 things at once in the kitchen. Looks like it's all going to go wrong, and he's going to spill it all everywhere.
Yeah, I definitely see this being in a Amber Ruby deck for sure. I feel like Amber Steel or the other Amber colors, you don't really want to swing into characters often, but I do definitely see this one being a contender.
This one, Antonio Madrigal, friend to all. So it's a dual ink Amber Amethyst card, 4-cost inkable, 2/2, quest for 2, and the ability, of course they can come. Once during your turn, whenever one of your characters sings a song, you may search your deck for a character card with cost 3 or less, reveal that card to all players, put that card into your hand and shuffle your deck. So quite a lot of text there. It basically says if you sing a song that turn, you can search for a character cost 3 or less.
Yeah, I imagine me if my friends who play this deck, like something that is like a 2-singer singing. What's that other one that lets you gains the lore and then you draw a card? I forgot the name of it. It's an uninkable 2-drop. It has a Madrigal in it. It has it has Maribel on it. I forgot the name of the card escapes me, but you sing that quest for 1 with a 2-drop. That quest for 1, draw a card. See, I wonder if when you put it in the bag, do you draw a card first? You gain a lore and then you draw a card. Right.
So you'd have to complete the song first.
You have to complete the song first, right? You do that, draw a card, shuffle it up, look at your hand, and then draw another card. So essentially, you get 2 cards in one go, right? In that place.
So up next we have Minnie Mouse, Starling Defender. It's a 4-cost. There's a theme here, Glenn. They're all 4s. You like 4 costs?
And they all have amber in it, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. 4-cost, 0 strength, 8 willpower, and a bodyguard. So this card has try it again. This character gains 1 strength for each damage on her. So it can hold up to 7 without being in the location. So it could potentially be a 7/1, really, isn't it? But yeah, I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I feel like the first thing I saw when I looked at this was like, I'm going to brawl that. That's going to get brawled so quick. It's going to get brawled or Medusa or something. That thing's got to go.
We have Lady, Family Dog, 3-cost, inkable, 2/2, quest for 2. When you play this character, you may play 1 character with cost 2 or less for free.
So
this just feels
very
like
excited about this.
This is a 4 of. And any Amber Steel deck. Like, you play this card, play Shmi for free, play a Turtle for Troubadour for free, play Vanessa for free. This card is play a Lilo for free.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is a 4 of. I think this is going to see a lot of play. This is the one to buy up all the foils. Yeah. This is the one.
Well, there's a nice combo as well if you play if you want to play the 1-cost Pluto, you can play him on 1. You tap him on turn 2, allows you to play Lady out immediately. With a 2-cost as well. So it's quite spicy. You got sort of 6 ink worth of characters on board on turn 2.
Holy smokes! Yep.
So nice. So my granddaughter Lily is very excited about this one. This is going straight in her deck.
Ooh, Chief Bogo himself. So 6-cost Inkable, 5/5, quest 1, with the ability send him back up. During your opponent's turn, whenever one of your bodyguard characters with Bodyguard is banished, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character that costs 5 or less, you may play it for free, otherwise put it back. I mean, this just absolutely screams Ruby, Amber, Mufasa deck, doesn't it? I mean, you just keep everything below 5, and yeah, this is going to pop off quite a lot, I think.
And it's whenever, right? So if you've got 2 bodyguards down, and you've got something meaty, something that's questing for 2 behind them, so your opponent's got to get rid of those 2 bodyguards, you're potentially playing 2 characters out for free.
I saw this the other way around. In my head, I was thinking, well, I play Bodyguard on 3, Bodyguard on 4, Mufasa on 5, slap this on 6, go on, be prep that. I'll just slap out 3 characters afterwards.
Yeah. I you know what? I actually was thinking when I first saw this card was an Amber Steel Bodyguard deck, because you have the Prince, you have Chempo, right? You have a lot of the Hercules from set 1. There's a lot of good bodyguards. Like you have the 3 Musketeers. You basically will build a deck of every single bodyguard in the game. You have Nani. You have a lot of characters that you could play, and I just see this is like the final drop. Like you play 1 through 5, you got a perfect curve of just only bodyguards. You put them down, they kill a bodyguard. Cool. Another bodyguard just comes right out, and it's just bodyguard after bodyguard. So I think it's very interesting too. It says during your opponent's turn, when one of your bodyguards get banished, it's not like one of those things where you could like, I'm going to sing something to kill my own bodyguard and then like flip a free card. So I think that's very good that they made that very clear on the card. But that one looks like a fun one.
I think this is definitely got options and can work its way into a few different type of decks, I think. Yeah, I like this one. So next up, we have 6-cost Inkable Tramp. This is the shift for 2 strength, 8 willpower. During your opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters is banished, you may draw a card. This just fits so well in Chernobog. It's unreal. If you play a Chernobog deck, this is your chase card for the set. If you play,
I really wish this card was out when I was playing that set, champs. It would have really helped. The draw is pretty hard on Chernodogs, and this thing here is like, I think out of the whole set, I would say this is my favorite card. Not because I play that deck, like that's not gonna probably be my main deck. Like Chernodogs is like my fun deck, but for me, this card is like S tier.
It's definitely gonna give options to that deck 100%. Okay, so up next we have Into the Unknown, a 3-cost Inkable, action and song, and put a chosen exerted character into their player's inkwell face down exerted. So I thought this was pretty good, but I think you have a different opinion, don't you?
It's just trash. I just don't see where you play this. I mean, we've got Let It Go now, which doesn't see a lot of play, even in Blurple. Okay, this is 2 ink less, but Blurple's problem isn't ink. We've got loads of ink. Blurple's problem isn't characters to sing this with. You've got characters you can sing this with. Sing Let It Go. So I don't see, and this is giving you an extra hoop to jump through because the exact character has to be exerted. So I just
I don't know.
It's a worse Let It Go just for 2 costs less when cost isn't the issue.
Yeah, I was trying to think what characters you'd have, but in Blurple,
Mhm.
really, you're going to have, Crab and maybe one other thing that's free cost. So everything else is for... You're never going to sing this with Genie. So then you're possibly singing it with a 5-drop, and if you're going to sing it with a 5-drop, you may as well sing Let It Go.
Yeah.
So, I think it's an added extra that could help that deck.
The Enchanted looks great though. The Enchanted,
but this is
Oh,
true.
looks-
This is
looks
true.
the
amazing.
Enchanted is awesome. I do feel like if you're playing Blurple and you see a very aggressive, let's say purple steel deck that you're playing, and they have a Shmi out there on 2 and it's exerted, it's quested. You necessarily don't want to run anything into that Shmi because if you run your crab into that Shmi, it's gonna die, right? So maybe this is like you just like that's the kind of like that's what I see, you know. But I totally hear you, Glenn. Like it has to be exerted, and like at that point, you might as well sing a "Let It Go" because you've ramped already, you know. So I see that point, but that's where I see like my only kind of like scenario where I kind of see where this card would be like against the hyper aggro deck that you don't necessarily want to swing into, you know.
See, now, could this then become good if Let It Go gets rotated out?
Oh yeah,
That's also true. That is also
Because if Let It Go gets rotated out, I think this then becomes...
And then, but
Yeah.
then it's like
Let It Go is a
it's rotated.
challenge promo though, right?
it is, and you know what, and also too, Let It Go is full blue. So like all the Sapphire players, you have to wait till Hades. And what if Hades gets rotated out? Like
Yeah.
you know, the removal on you know, it's going to be very tough because this is very dual inky, right? So it's like I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, so up next we have free cost uninkable Stitch Experiment 262. Now, it's a 3/3, so 3 strength, 3 willpower, quest for 2. There's 2 abilities, so naughty. When you play this character, each opponent puts the top card of their deck into their inkwell, face down exerted. Don't have a problem with that. It's a little bit of ramp for your opponent, but you're putting down a 3/3, quest 2. It's not too bad.
Strong Mickey. It's a bitter detective Mickey. I'll tell you that, right?
Yeah. The other ability is stealth mode. At the start of your turn, if this character is in your discard, you may choose and discard an inkable card to play this character for free. He then comes in exerted. At that point, I could see playing it once. I don't see why you'd want to play it more than once. You're just ramping your opponent. Because you don't get the ramp from this. It's just your opponent.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, here, have loads of ink and just outpace me in every way possible. I don't.
And it's uninkable.
Yeah.
And you've got to discard an inkable card to do that.
It's one of those cards too. Like, do you remember? Like, there's those cards that are like a Kita. You're playing a blue-red Kita, and they tap the blue Kita. They put one in their inkwell, and they choose a card to put on the top. If you know that's the one that they want, I could see like But how many people do that, right? Do you get what I mean? How many people play those type of cards? It's like I get what they're trying to do. It is
that's a good point. That could come in more. You know, we don't know sort of later in the game
because like a lot of people are playing
their
Kita.
deck.
Yeah, they're playing Kita and they're choosing the card, putting it on the top. And you're like, oh, that's a cool card. Boom, it goes right to your ink. But it's like I said, it's like a Detective Mickey for your opponent. They get the ink, you don't. So it's kind of weird. But hey, the cards that you guys don't like, have you noticed the Enchanteds are awesome?
This is a very good point.
So if the card is not good, the Enchanted is just that much better, right? So, yeah.
But does this pair well with Merlin's Cottage? So they play with their top card revealed at all times, and then you can wait for that beep rep and be like, nope, that's going in your ring.
Yep. Exactly.
So that's where it works. So
yes,
we found it.
Exactly. That's a nice Sisu up back in the ink there. Yeah. And then let it die, and then like discard a card, play it for free, get rid of that. Yeah, that's a good one. Cottage with that.
See, now maybe a 3-card, 4-card combo, it might actually be all right.
Yeah, it might be all right. Yeah.
So we'll leave the card reveals there for now. So we have done the super question, so we've done all that. Is there anything else we need to round up on?
I don't think so. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's great to connect with y'all like overseas. I think that's it's really just shows like how big this world is and yet how small it is, right? Like, so I think it's really awesome. Like this game can connect us like that. And please be in touch. You guys know how to reach me, and we'll do it again. Maybe set 9 or 10, or set 50 when I got a grandkid of my own. You know what I mean? So thank you again for having me. I'm really honored to be on here. Really appreciate it, and please keep in touch. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, we'll do. Thank you for taking your time out your day and joining us. So,
all right, take care, Dave.
See you later.
Bye.
So this is an interesting card. So Arthur determines Squire. It's a dual link sapphire steel card, 4-cost inkable, 6/6 body, quest for 3, with the ability no more books, skip your turn's draw step. So interesting, notable, because I think it's the first card that we've had in the game that kind of breaks the mechanics of the game, if you like. The first one that actually stops a step within the game. You ready, set, draw. With Arthur determines Squire down, you don't draw. You don't have a draw step. So you're getting a big body that's questing heavily on board early, but you're losing the draw on your turn. One of the things that immediately came to mind for me was, Diablo. On the opponent's side, you're now saying, well, you're not getting a draw off me.
Yeah.
So, I'm not getting the draw, but, you're not getting the draw. If you
would need some other card draw, though, wouldn't you, I suppose?
That's what you'd need, isn't it? Is other cards that can draw you cards that are more controllable draws. So, I mean, I guess you've got Doc is the obvious one in steel. Just an interesting mechanic. I don't know whether it will be one that will see much play, but I suspect this is one that people will be trying out in decks to see if they can make it work.
Next up, we have an 8-cost inkable Ratigan Greedy Genius. Now, this is a 6 strength, 7 willpower. This character has ward, and it has the ability time runs out. At the end of your turn, if you don't put any cards into your inkable this turn, banish this character. In blue, that's probably not too hard to do. If you had this with a blue steel deck with Arthur down, it could be quite awkward. Quest for 4, though.
I'm thinking sort of Blurple. One of the hardest things sometimes with Blurple is closing the game out. Because you get if you get long into a game, especially against another control deck, you're often trying to control to nothing, if you know what I mean. You're sort of controlling, you're doing what you can to keep ball clear, but you're not really moving anywhere. This is a big threat to drop on the board. It's got ward on, right? So
I suppose
Hades, Tremaine will get around it, but Hades and other cards are not going to be able to take this off the board. So if this can quest for 4, it's giving your opponent some real headaches.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not sure on it. I think it has to go in the Blurple deck because you need to have the cards to be able to ink. But think about it, you don't. You just need 2 Great Stone Dragons, and you just ink stuff from your discard. I'm not sure on it. One thing I'm not sure on definitely is his tail. I don't like the fact the tail goes over the strength and the willpower. That doesn't look right. That should have been behind. But yeah,
it doesn't. They're pushing the.
I like it popping out.
The boundaries of some of the designs, aren't they? And go,
Yeah, I like it popping out. I don't think it should be going across that bit though. But yeah, no, I think it's got potential in the right deck, 100%. And like I say, it's going to be a nightmare to answer. I don't want to face this. This is a be prep or lose, basically. Pretty much.
Yeah.
If they quest with this twice, that's going to be hard to stop. Next up, we have the 6-cost Inkable Maui, Stubborn Trickster. He's a 4/4, quest for free. He has a choosable ability. So his ability is, I'm not finished yet. When this character is banished, choose one. Put 2 damage counters on opposing characters. Banish all items or banish all locations. This card, I think, could be really good. The only thing that stops it for me is the fact that it has to be banished, because that makes it a little bit more difficult. But the ability to potentially banish all locations is really good. This is the first banish all locations with Sin. We've had all items, but this is the first all locations with Sin. Locations aren't massive at the minute. You might find 1 or 2, but you've still got the opportunity. Does this then fall into those decks that are like banish one of your characters to banish one of theirs, and then you're also doing something else? Like, I think in green there's Dinner Bell, so banish a damaged character. So you could potentially challenge into something. If it doesn't banish it, you can use Dinner Bell, finish it off, and then do 2 damage or something. I'm not sure. I think it's an interesting card.
I think it's interesting because it quests for 3. So, again, it's one of those cards that you could just give your opponent a bit of a headache with if they've got a location on board. They've got something like Duck Manor, or they've got 2 on board. Then they're faced with that sort of awkward.
If I challenge into really this, I'm losing my McDuck. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want this questing for 3, but then if I challenge it, I think any card that could put your opponent in that sort of quandary is a good card to have in your armory. And the fact that you've got options as well, definitely. actually, so it can, it could give your opponent a real headache because they're like, well, maybe 2 of those 3 options are bad for me, but in different ways. I don't know which one my opponent's gonna choose.
Okay, so one last one for you, which is the 6-cost uninkable Madam Mim. Now, you probably heard that name a few times. It's the Rhino. So it's a 6 strength, 5 willpower, which is a beefy body. Shift 2. And the ability, make way coming through. When you play this character, banish her or return a chosen character to your hand. Now, we've heard that before. That's on the Madam Mim Snake and Madam Mim Fox, and now Madam Mim Rhino. I think it's also on Elephant. So we've got quite a few that care about bouncing things back to hand, but potentially having this on turn 3?
Yeah, potentially. I was thinking about it. It's obviously slightly awkward because you've got to bounce stuff. So to have it on turn 3, you need to play Snake on 2, which means you bounce your 1-drop back.
Oh, yeah, no. So 4.
So you could do it on 3. It means you've got to play another 1-drop and then shift this to bounce that 1-drop back. But
I mean, you're going to have the 1-drop in hand anyway, aren't you? So from the thing.
Yeah.
So a 1-drop Snake in this will guarantee this coming out on 3.
Guarantee this coming out on 3. Yeah. 6/5 on 3.
It's going to be hard to remove. Yeah.
So it's an interesting card again. It's uninkable, so the question becomes: what are you taking out of your deck to make room for this? You're really going to get rid of a rabbit? Be prepared.
Probably not.
No,
unfortunately not. I don't think. This is one of those cards that they could be looking forward, and after rotation, this could be good because if we lose, say, Medusa and Tremaine, all of a sudden that 6-cost uninkable frees up a little bit, and this could slide in. But at the minute, I think I'd rather run a Medusa or a train. Medusa or a train? A Medusa or a Lady Tremaine over this.
Medusa on a train.
Medusa on a train. That's what we need. But yeah, I think it's a good card. I like the idea. Slapping this down on turn 3 is going to be a beefy thing, and it'll take a bit to take it out. But It's a 3-card combo, so I'm not sure.
It is up to you.
So, did you get the flavor text game from last week? So FPS Madness didn't. And this was maybe a bit of a sneaky one. So, to remind you, it was a pen icon on the card. So this is a Lorcana exclusive piece of flavor text, and the text was: "Finding lore will be as easy as taking candy from children," or champion playmats from Sweeties. But it was Madame Medusa.
Yeah, you caught me off guard on this one. I knew it was going to be a villain, but I just couldn't work out who. I was going down the road of, I was looking at Nick Wilde to begin with, going down that route, and then I was looking at some of the other villains, and yeah, I just didn't see Medusa. It was a bit of a train wreck. But yeah, no, it was a good one. So the flavor text for this week is another pen type. And I will narrow it down a little bit for you guys, because obviously with the reveals, we haven't had any old cards in. So I'm going to narrow it down quite a lot. It's a steel card. That's all you're getting. And the flavor text this week is: "In this new world, the crown could finally be his." We're going into Reign of Jafar, Someone's after a crown. Could it be Jafar himself? Who knows? But yeah, that is flavor text, guys. So drop a comment below or hit us on any of our socials, and we'll give you a shout out next week. So, is there anything else we need to wrap up on for this week?
No, I think just say it's been a longish one this week. It's been good fun. Let's go through. Awesome to have Lorcana Man on. Do jump across to Instagram if you have Instagram. Look up Lorcana Man on there for some great content. But yeah, next week I think we will aim to bring you some deck lists to have a look at, some Reign of Jafar deck lists. And really, from me, just to say, good luck to anyone competing in the last weekend of Set Champs, and for those doing the Reign of Jafar pre-release, may you draw your enchanteds and legendaries. And yeah, let the fun begin.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it's time to roll up that playmat.
Pack away the dice.
And remember, stay uninkable.
See you next time.
See you next time.